YouTube, welcome to Mr. Raw Talks Everything, and today we're talking about Jake the Problem Child Logan versus Tommy TNT Fury, a fight which in my opinion, based on the evidence, is going to be one-sided, totally one-sided. So first of all, both the fighters, Jake Paul is 6'1", weighs around 195 in the off season, normally cooks down to 187. This fight's at 185. Tommy Fury, 6 foot tall, weighs probably 10 pounds or less, walk around weight, nothing crazy. And then we go into the styles of the actual fighters. Jake Paul has 6 fights, 4 knockouts. Tommy Fury has 8 fights, 4 knockouts, right? So the first narrative that I've seen about this fight is that Tommy Fury has fought bums. They have a combined record of 255 and 20 or something like that. True, he has not fought very good boxers, but they've still been professional boxers. They've still been good enough to turn pro. So that's the thing that people are missing. Jake Paul isn't technically a professional boxer yet. So there's one thing I think people are just underestimating and missing. Now, Jake Paul's opponents, let's be honest, Nate Robinson, that shouldn't even count. They were both terrible at the time. The only ones, in my opinion, that should really count, Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva. My opinion, the other fights he had, they're just nonsense, to be honest. And let's be honest, it's great by decision win the first time with Woodley. Fair enough, flatline KO'd him the second time, but it wasn't a one-sided fight. And then against Anderson Silva, it was a very, very close fight. You know what I mean? And Anderson Silva's 47-year-old. Yes, you can come back with Anderson Silva, beat Chavez Jr. True, but Chavez Jr. had a big break from boxing and also hadn't boxed in years and was older too. So, excuse me. So that again is a flawed argument. What I will say about Jake, first of all, he does have knockout power. He definitely has one punch KO power, right? No one's done what he done to Tyron Woodley, and that's with 2-ounce gloves in MMA, and no one's flatlined him like that. No one. So he definitely has power. He flatlined Nate Robinson too. The man can hit, no doubt about it, and his technical skill has improved. But, and it's a big but for me, to go and look at Tommy. Yes, he hasn't been super impressive in the last 2 fights, true. But you just look at him on a technical level. He moves much better. His punches are much snappier, much sharper. He's actually quite a bit bigger than Jake. And on top of that, he's a Fury. These guys are brought up fighting. Like, this is what they know. And I know he's not Tyson and he's not going to be as good as Tyson, etc. But these guys, from a young age, he would have been brought up around boxing, the mentality of boxing and fighting. And I'm telling you now, it's going to be a bad night for Jake. I think what's going to happen, personally, if I was going to make an actual prediction, Tommy Fury wins by late stoppage. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be very cagey. I think Tommy Fury's just going to jab his head off, because the guy's got an 80-inch reach. He's 6 foot tall with an 80-inch reach. He's built like a gorilla. He's literally just going to stand and do this. Literally, he's just going to do that. For the first 2-3 rounds, he's just going to jab Jake's head off. Jake's going to be like, well, I can't get a shot in, I can't. Because Jake's more of a counter puncher. Jake's not going to push the action here. He's more of someone who's six behind his counters. And then what happens is people come in, think, oh yeah, I've hurt him or whatever. And then he clubs them. He's like a clubbing puncher. So what I think is going to happen is Jake Paul's going to come in. He's not going to push the action. The first 2 rounds are going to be quite quiet. And I think it could go either way. I think it could be 1 round apiece or something. But I think as the fight goes on, Jake's going to find it hard to find his range on Tommy. Because Tommy's footwork is far better than Jake's. Jake's way more stationary and he tries to roll with punches. Tommy gets caught, sure, but he gets caught because he's being overly aggressive. For me, this is a fight where if Tommy controls his emotions, he's going to win. Like, it's obvious. He's a better boxer. That is plain to see for anyone to look at. So, I think he's just going to jab his face off for the first 3 or 4 rounds. And then Jake's going to get frustrated, start coming out of his shell a bit, thinking, shit, I'm down here on the scorecards. and he's just going to end up getting knocked out, I think. I honestly believe this is the end of the Jake Paul boxing run. Not to say Jake Paul can't win. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if Jake Paul's losing the fight and then just flatlines him with a big overhand right. But I just feel like this is the end of the fight, for the end of the boxing for Jake against proper boxers. I still think he'll fight KSI after. And by the way, I'm not a Jake Paul hater. I just objectively look at what I see. Nothing to do with his personality, his popularity, clout, or anything like that. I'm looking at it objectively from a technical level. And on a technical level, Tommy Fury has a much better jab. He has much better feints. He's much faster movement. He's quicker. He's whippier, sharper, snappier. The only thing Jake literally has, there's two things over Tommy. Maybe, I think he's very durable. We don't know if Tommy is durable like Jake yet. He is durable, and he has good mental fortitude. That's one thing that we know Jake has. And he has that one hitter quitter power, which he does have. But honestly, I'm telling you now, put your bets on. I'm telling you, Jake Paul will go down in the 5th round. That's my prediction.